Welcome. Hello. Ucroo. My clothes, my old hag clothes, are only fitting for tonight. Oh no, I had my hag voice on. Ucroo. Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you guys so much for being up at this hour, all prepped up and ready to wander into the night and into Halloween together. So welcome, wanderers of the night. As it gets, as the night progresses, ucroo, I beckon you to gather in the shadows, where tonight reality blurs and the unseen stirs. We will traverse the thin veil that separates us from the otherworldly. The stories that you guys, everyone has shared, I really appreciate them. And tonight, we're gonna appreciate them together. Listen closely. Try to stay comfortable. For the stories we share are not just, mere figments of imagination. They are truly our experiences that whisper to us in the dark. And because all of us here, to some extent, have been through something, it reminds us that we are never truly alone. Ucroo, hello. Ucroo, it's so nice to see you guys. Hello, good evening. Colin, Ucroo, thank you so much for the lovely thumbnail. I was like, God damn it, so creepy. That's so wonderful. Thank you for the beautiful thumbnail. Dulahan, Ucroo. Fine Pingsting, Ucroo. Zajawa, Ucroo. Keizo, Ucroo. Curie, Ucroo. Fang, Ucroo. Genjutsu, Ucroo. Low res member, Ucroo. Hello. You have third eye since birth, so used to talking to the undead since birth. That is totally, it is something that I actually believe. Man, it's not easy. If you stay in the Southeast Asian region, and if you believe in the country, if the land that you believe, if the land that you're in, they're living in, believes in like the Hungry Ghost month, it's a very, very active month for you, probably. Can we have a little character break moment since I'm already here? I had a bit of a heart attack because I scared myself with my camera. And what I mean is that I was walking behind my chair, so the camera capture was scary too. You guys want to see it? Oh yeah. Actually far away from my camera. Ooh. So So I jump scared myself because I didn't realize that my camera was like, I was really flying around behind my camera. Yeah, no, like walking behind my chair here. But anyway, okay. So the stories today are of most of it, I take it, if not all of them. I specifically requested for personal experiences. So we will uncover these moments together. We can see, and maybe perhaps we can draw ourselves closer to the truth of what lurks beyond our understanding. Each tale holds a secret, a glimpse into realms where the unfamiliar or the familiar turns really strange, and the ordinary hides the extraordinary, and the truth is out there. I just find it, in this modern day and age, it is still amazing that, there are a lot of, on the internet, footage of stage footage, CG, or really videos and footage that we really, really cannot explain. And I think that's what makes it all the more mysterious. So, Kukru, are you ready? Tonight, every story will have cues to signify the start and the end of each story. We will also have some stories that will be told one after another, as amazingly they share something in common. So as I tell each of them, you can, Kukru, you guys can, for yourselves figure it out. While some have actually real common coincidences or like similarities, others are real nightmares. So once a story is complete in its telling, I'll look back into chat and we can open the floor for discussion. Okay? Let's go. That's not a trombone, you silly. My goodness, my child. I have a bunch of stories here. Let's start with something a bit more curious, a bit more of being out there exploring, and yet things are left much to the unknown. Am I gonna light up those candles? Aren't they already lit? Aren't the flames a little special? story was being shared by Genji. Thank you so much. And this one is a personal story from him. So there was a time my best friend and I were into watching the Ghost Hunter reality shows. One day, we decided to go do our own ghost hunting adventure. At the time, I was living in the UK on a small island. We researched the most haunted place. We found one which was an old church. The thing about it was that the roof would always collapse. Even when they put up a new roof, eventually, for some reasons unknown, it would always collapse again. So one night, we got prepped up. We had flashlights with new batteries and a fully charged video camera. We arrived just before midnight. It was a 100-year-old or older church with a small graveyard. It was a cold night, but there wasn't much of a wind. There was not much of any breeze or motion. We collected the equipment from the boot of a car and we went on our way. Torches on and camera recording, we entered the grounds and started walking around. After around 10 minutes, we started asking out loud, might I add, show us a sign, give us a sign. As we walked around the main church, the first thing we noticed was that the wind was slowly being picked up. Then the torch batteries started dying. Remember that they were brand new batteries. Then the video camera battery started dying. It was freshly charged. Even the video camera started dying. We couldn't figure out what was happening. And you can sense it. You need no special abilities to realize and feel a chill down your spine. Now, I did say the wind picked up, but we looked at each other, and at the same time, we both knew and felt that chill. We decided that at that point, it was time to leave. Now, the thing is, with the torches dying, with the video camera dying, when we got to the car, which was like 100 meters away from the grounds, not only was it the torches that suddenly seemed brighter and working again, but the video camera battery wasn't low anymore. And that was the last time we ever tried that. Curiosity got the better of you guys. I would never do it again. I would never. My goodness. Yeah, Genjitsu, that was amazing. Where can you send your horror experience? The entries have been closed. Maybe next year. Entries have been closed since the tour last week, around the 21st. first and last time. Wise, very wise decision. I wouldn't. I do not have the balls to do it. Like, it's a good thing that you're able to sense it. It's a very good thing that you're able to sense it. And by instincts and by nature and by your intuition, that you were able to, figure it out and know your limitations. But in any case, that was pretty wise of you to just leave. I wouldn't. Especially a church with over 100 years of history. It's not something that you would want to meddle with. And I'm pretty sure everybody is on the same page for this. Yes. Yeah, I felt it was time to go. It could be that the place itself was actually signaling to you to get out, because it's really dangerous, especially if it's only like the two of you. Or in any case, even if a group of friends and like a typical horror movie, and it would start splitting ways and things, and people start splitting up. And that was the first story. Alright. Huh. My chat got mushed. Hold on. Hoi. I take it that this is your story. Yes, never again. Okay. And that's the first story. Done. Do not mess with the supernatural. Or the things that you cannot explain. Oh, Windows Media Player, why you do this to me? Okay, if we are good, let's move on to the next story. Oh, we have two stories that have quite the same. They occur within like the similar vein or theme. Maybe let's do that one because it's also mostly in the Southeast Asia. Let's do this one then. This story was shared by Eva. Eva actually submitted 3 stories for us to indulge in. Yeah, C gang, let's go. Whoa. I mean, it's late at night right now. But let's just do this anyway. This is story number 2. So, in my country, Eva's country, all males have to serve national service for 2 years. The first 9 weeks would usually be spent on an island that is a ferry ride away from the mainland. I've heard countless horror stories coming from that island from many of my male friends who served national service. This story that I'm about to share happened to my younger brother after he came home from the island. I was unaware of the fact that he had already came home initially until I passed by his room and saw his field pack on the floor. A field pack is basically a huge backpack that all national servicemen would be issued, and they will be given, in which they can store their personal effects and equipment. From the moment I saw that field pack, I had the most uneasy feeling. Just then, my brother came out of the shower. We sat down and talked about what happened during his training for the 9 weeks he was on that island. He talked about the outfield experience he had, and from there I learned that they had to camp out for almost a week in the forested area. I asked if he had experienced anything supernatural over that period. My brother thought for a little before he said. He actually hesitated to actually reply that on one of the nights during the outfield, him and his buddy had to answer nature's call. So they had to, because there were no toilets in the forest, they just had to go then and there, so they excused themselves to an area away from the rest of the guys. Just as they were about to head back, they could smell a sweet fragrance. It was only a light and faint scent, but it was enough to send shivers down their spines. The only thought they both shared at the time was Pontianak, but neither said it out loud at that time. My brother, being the braver one, scanned the trees around the area and said he didn't see anything, but they both agreed it would be wise to not linger and quickly went back. Throughout the rest of his time on the island, nothing else happened, fortunately. He said he had bunkmates who have heard and seen things, but it didn't happen to him. He didn't think much of what happened that night in the forest too, until I asked about it. I told him about the uncomfortable feeling I was getting from his field pack, and he said I was probably thinking too much. And so I just brushed it off until later that night. There was a thunderstorm. One that was so strong, my bedroom windows and doors were rattling like crazy. Then I heard a knock on my door. It was my brother. I let him in, and he asked if he could spend the night in my room. He said that there was a black moth or butterfly, he couldn't really tell, in his room, and he found it hard to fall asleep with it being in there. He also said whenever he closed his eyes, there was a crushing pressure around him, which made it really, really hard for him to breathe. While he attributed it to possibly fatigue, he said there might really be someone or something in his room. The next morning, we told our mom about this. She said she didn't feel any weird energy or aura in the house, but just to be safe, she visited the temple and got us amulets for all of us. She also put one on my brother's field pack and left it there for a while before burning the amulet. As soon as she did that, the uneasy feeling that I had dissipated. My brother also said that he saw the black moth flew out of the window. And so, yeah, what do you guys think that could have happened then? My first question would be, do black moths or butterflies signify something? Eva told this in one of her streams. He failed his training arc. Oh man. Laura's member. Oh my goodness, there's a story to be told. Man, there's a story to be told. What do black moths or butterflies signify? Is it pertaining to the Pontianak, or is it probably a spirit, or black moths? Oh, it's a black witch moth? Symbolism. In some folklore, black moth is a bearer of bad news, a harbinger of death, or a symbol of transformation. And if it visits you, it's often signifying the need for caution. But the fact that the brother was unable to sleep in his own room, knowing there's like this pressure, physical pressure that he could feel. Once you smell a fragrant smell in the middle of the forest, you're gonna get followed on your way home. I would say he is very, very lucky that he was brave enough to try and scan the forest, but didn't see it. For those that don't know, the Pontianak is recognized as either a female vampire or the spectral manifestation of a woman who met her end during childbirth. It is also a name of an astral creature that is said, it is said to be a spirit of a woman who died during childbirth. And there's a lot of like Googling about what to do if you see a Pontianak. In a lot of Malay folklore, I also hear about this one before, that you need to drive a nail through the Pontianak's head. And they will turn into a beautiful and loving woman who you can marry and make into your wife. But she will have a nail in her head. Yikes. Wood. No. The next one is also from Southeast Asia, I'm guessing. That also has a rather similar vein and theme. Eva, ucroo, welcome. Welcome. I told part 1 out of 3 of your stories. Thank you for tuning in, ucroo. Thank you. Hello, hello. It's good to see you. This story is considered a recount from a stranger, and this story was submitted by Ahmad Shahir Naimi bin Ahmad Azizi. Let's go. It's amazing that he has very specific timeline, because I think this is based off his experiences and what he's being told from his friends. This story happened back in October or November in 2011. I was selected for the PLKN camp, Malaysia's 3 months long national service training program, and it was a new experience personally. Being a 17-year-old who had just finished secondary school or high school and never being so far away from home. As I walked towards the bus that was transporting me to the campsite and waving my family goodbye, I had mixed feelings. Sadness, excitement, anxiety, you name it. Being surrounded by complete strangers in a completely new environment, it was certainly going to be a new experience that I'll remember for life. It was relatively peaceful of a bus ride, but one particular detail that he remembered during this bus ride was that the bus driver decided to play Final Destination 5 film on the bus's TV. The whole journey took 3 hours. When we arrived at the campsite, it was almost as I had expected. The site was located near a highway by the foot of a hill, overlooking a river and a jungle. Being a city boy, I was happy to finally get closer to nature. The camp itself was decent. The beds arranged like a typical military-style arrangement, with a locker allocated to each and one of us. The 3 months was somewhat peaceful, with occasional fights, the boys fighting or being punished. But there was one particular incident that still stuck in my mind. This took place around 10 or 11 in the morning. I was in the classroom with my other platoon mates, and we're all doing our activities as per given by the instructor. Suddenly, I saw a student walking out of a classroom on the opposite side towards the back of the room. He wasn't running, but he seemed like he was in a hurry. I didn't think anything of it and returned to what I was doing. And suddenly, I heard someone shouting, "What are you doing?" The entire class and the opposite class rushed out to see the commotion. Suddenly, we saw 2 to 3 instructors restraining the student that was walking out of the class earlier. Some other participants rushed to help. All of them carried the student to the camp's clinic. The student didn't really fight back or anything, but I saw a quick glimpse of his face. It was unnatural. It was as if he was there, but his mind wasn't in it. He had this blank stare, as if he was possessed, and as a result, the class in session was abruptly ended for the day. Rumors began to circulate. Some said he was possessed. Some said he was stressed due to something that had happened outside of camp. Some said he had been harassed by someone or something. What was clear was that the student had leaned on and tried to jump off the railing at the back of the classroom into the river below, but was luckily spotted and stopped by the instructors and other participants. We had no idea what happened to the student after he was sent home after the incident. Most of us seemed to have forgotten about it once the training program ended in November, either by choice or, sometimes we just simply forget. But I can safely say that this incident will remain with me for the rest of my life. Also, remember when I said that I watched Final Destination 5 on the bus on the way to camp? Thanks to that movie, I am now afraid whenever I drive behind heavy vehicles such as buses and lorries. I will either tell myself to overtake the buses or lorries as fast as possible, or to stay behind them or as far away as much as I can. Although it had probably nothing to do with the incident at the camp, I will always associate the movie and the fears that come with it. Another spoopy army, military. Another spoopy story. It is quite common, and I do understand, like, if you watch some sort of media or link some movie or music and associate it with the string of incidents or things that happened within that period, it's by association. Yeah, it's natural to remember things that way. I've not written it down, but I also have one story to share. I'm being told this one by a friend who was also in the military. This one happened at night, late at night. It's not like they were out in the outfield. It's not like they were in the forest. But with the army and sharing the dormitories, they would normally have, sometimes the beds are like, arranged in a military style where it's single beds facing each other along the room. For him, they were being paired up, and they have bunk beds. So there's like it's one bed on top of the other, whereby the person on top has to climb. I think that was the bed arrangement. If not, either way, there was like a buddy system to check on each other, so that everyone is accounted for. So this friend of mine was having his, was sleeping well into the night. But however, he was woken up by his buddy, and his buddy said to accompany him, tag team. With this buddy system, they need to call each other to be together when they go to the toilets or go to the bathroom. So his friend woke him up and told him, hey, I need to go. So he was like, okay. So he sleepily went, followed him into the toilet, and by the time he reached the toilet, his friend was already in the bathroom stall. And so he waited and waited and waited. And then, he got frustrated and he was tired and he was still drowsy and sleepy. So it's like, hey, you know what? If you're gonna take this long, I'm just gonna go back to sleep. And he was also kind of, grouchy because of it. So he just said that and then walked back to his bunk bed. But when he went back to his bed, he realized that his buddy was actually asleep in bed. So he walked back into the bathroom and talked to the stall that was still being occupied. And he said, and he stupidly asked, "Who are you?" And from the stall was a reply, "If you already know this, why are you still asking? Why are you still asking?" And then my friend just okay and went back to his bed and went back to sleep. And that was it. This story was circulated within his platoon mates for a while. And I think the first thing in the morning was he told his buddy about it. He's like, "Did you go to the toilet?" Like, "No." "Oh." And it was quite, this story was circulated because it was like quite popular. Like, what the fuck? May, hello, ucroo. Also, Frost, ucroo, hello, welcome. Octavia, hello, ucroo, welcome, welcome. Ooh, horror stories. You're just nice talking about those military stories in Southeast Asia. Yeah, maybe the ghost needs a toilet buddy. Yeah, this story was quite, yeah. When he told me about it, he said that it was quite popular. Then I was like telling it to other guy friends, and they're like, "Oh, your friend's that guy." I'm like, "Oh, I see." I don't think it was balls of steel. It was chagrin, frustration, and just sleepy dumb. I feel, but he did it. He did it. So yeah, those are the 2 or 3 stories that were in a similar vein. Your favorite seagulls is the penanggal or manananggal in the Philippines. What are those? Oh my goodness. They sound scary. They sound scary already. Google. Oh my god, I'm googling all these ghosts. Floating disembodied woman's head. A nocturnal vampiric entity from Malay ghost myths. It takes the form of a floating disembodied woman's head, with its organs and entrails trailing from its neck. Just nice. We were actually talking about we did mention the Pontianak as well. Pee noise. At least you never got to see. I'm yeah, exactly. There's no way. Please, no. Please, no. Okay. I think there are some more intense ones that I kind of prepared more because I could sense and imagine the shock, the incredulity of what is happening to them. I'll try my best. I'll try my best. So there's also the story by, let me put in the story first. Okay, I'll just sum it up as ASN instead of the full spelling. ASN. Your stories have been told. Let's move on to the next one. Where's this one? Yes. This one was submitted by Mega. Thank you so much. This one will be... My cues for this is too. Do you know how, like, sometimes you guys... Would you, let's say, in a very uncomfortable environment, have a sense that maybe someone or something is observing you? So I think often and most times, trust your instincts. If it doesn't feel right, just yeah, it's an inexplicable feeling. Unexplainable, yes. I think whatever country or culture it is, as long as it happens to you or someone close to you, it is. You're right about that. Okay, the next one is about being seen. It was meant to be a tranquil evening in our family's cozy home, nestled in a serene neighborhood where the gentle rustling of leaves and the distant chirping of crickets created a soothing symphony. Our house was a haven, offering everything we needed for comfort. A warm living room filled with the soft glow of lamps, a snug bedroom adorned with cherished memories, a balcony that beckoned for daydreams under the stars, and a simple bathroom that held an unsettling secret. A gaping black hole in the ceiling that seemed to lead to the dimly lit attic. From the moment I first stepped into that bathroom, an inexplicable unease settled over me. The frog was me. The air felt heavy. I'm trying not to laugh. Shush, shush. And I couldn't shake the feeling that something was lurking just beyond my line of sight. Each time I entered, I felt as though an unseen presence was watching me from above, hidden in the shadows of the attic. I tried to rationalize it, convincing myself it was merely my imagination running wild. However, as days turned to weeks, that unsettling feeling became an unwelcome companion I couldn't ignore. The mysterious rumblings on the rooftop at night only intensified my anxiety. They echoed like whispers of secrets best left untold. One particular night, while anxiously waiting for my favorite VTuber stream, which started at an ungodly hour between 2 or 3 a.m., the feeling of being watched returned with vengeance. As I sat in my bedroom amidst quietude, punctuated by soft clicks on my keyboard, chilling sensations crept down my spine. It felt as if something was observing me intensely. Heart racing, but mustering courage to investigate further, I tiptoed into the bathroom where the ominous hole loomed above. I scanned corners, peering into the dark recesses, but found nothing amiss. No hidden figure, nor sign of life. Just oppressive silence enveloping me like a shroud. And it did remain persistent, and with uncertainty gnawing at the edges of my mind. Who or what could reside within the mysterious hole? Was it mere trickery of light? Or figment of imagination? Or perhaps something even more sinister? Even now, thoughts about the gaping void send shivers down my spine, leaving question lingering if truly being alone, if I would be safe, if I was truly alone at home. I love the description. I love the writing here. Damn. This was very beautifully written by Mega. So relatable, right? Watching VTubers. Why the fuck would you have a hole in your bathroom? A ceiling. The ceiling. Why? Why? Why would you? Why? Won't you want to like patch it up? You can have a wonderful, lovely, cozy home, but there will be a gaping hole that seemed creepy. Wouldn't you want to explore the attic? Or try to clear it out? Peeping hole? Why? Why? I wouldn't. Truth to be told, there's a hole in the ceiling from my bathroom. But I know there's nothing there because it's not an attic, you know? It's just a false ceiling. Don't judge me. No. It just happens to be a false ceiling hole. That's why. Mine doesn't lead to an attic, okay? And we are lucky, guys. Tonight, this story, we are pretty okay. Mega themselves rated this spooky story, a 4 out of 10. So it's more of, you know, the workings of the mind. Maybe something is really just observing you. I guess you can't read your naughty stuff anymore. Or maybe they want you to share it with them through the hole. I don't know. How can you have such a nice cozy home and don't do anything about the attic? My ceiling is just a false ceiling. Nothing. 4 out of 10, but it's so creepy. I'm glad you feel that way. When I do read this stuff, I'm like, no. Imagine you have a hole in your bathroom that leads to the attic. You peek into it, only you see another eyeball. Eva. Hamuna. Mega. That's worse. My goodness. That's worse. But okay, guys. Let's move on to the next one. Next one. Lesson learned from this story. Please patch the ceiling in your toilet. Okay. Some of the stories here are getting more intense. Let me check out what are the cues that I need for this one. Okay. Ooh. This one. Here we go. Garfield, Catmaster, A Gundam, ucroo. Hello and welcome. 4 out of 10 will look into the hole again. You always open your eyes when shampooing with your hair. I used to do that. When a horror movie is like fresh for me, I would do that too. Or like I will bend backwards to make the water run over the back of my head. There was a period of time. Me too. I can relate. Okay, this next one. is submitted by Okami Kurainya. And the rating is 10 out of 10 in terms of personal creepiness level. So with every submission in the form, I did ask like, first of all, tell the story, whether it's a personal one or, you know, being told by a relative, a friend, or maybe, you know, even a stranger. And then I would like, there's also in the questionnaire, how would you rate how scary or how creepy was this experience or story to you? 10 out of 10. Let's go. It was late at night when I felt something knock against the side of my bed, thinking it was the cat. I opened my eyes and I was about to get up when I noticed something hunched over my bed. I froze in fear for a moment, thinking someone had broken into my home. But the thing stuttered a croaky whoo, and seemed to notice I'd woken up. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up so high that it stung. I felt my skin prickling in fear. While I didn't lift my head, I could see the torso of the entity. It was pale, white, and looked shrunken and shriveled to the point of starvation. Its ribs were clearly visible. It lumbered towards the head of the bed, standing right next to my face. It smelled strongly of stale urine. It rose up, skeletal hands passing by my face, and it began a terrifying scream, something you expected from a horror movie, starting with a croak and rising into an animalistic howl. At this point, I made up my mind to throw an uppercut punch from my bed. At which point, I felt a sharp shock from waking up in bed. Despite writing it off as a nightmare, I turned on the light and lay in bed until the sun rose, even with the light on, and was never settling for a moment. That was a short one. I think it could be possibly pertaining to sleep paralysis, but this one is very, very vivid. I can imagine it something similar to, what was the creature that was in The Lord of the Rings? Sleep paralysis without paralysis. Which is kind of amazing because we have actually 2 more stories that have similar situation whereby you're in bed where you're supposedly comfortable and resting. Golem, yeah, I think it's Golem. Precious. Yeah, I would imagine something that looks like that. Like Golem. On the bed. But I think if most like sleep paralysis, it's often a dark figure. This one is pale and croaky and skeleton-y. Unfortunately, I couldn't record an animalistic howl. I could only do an animalistic crew. But I guess, I don't know. Is this some form of a nightmare? This is some form of a nightmare. They decided to write it off as a nightmare. But I don't know. Or is it? I mean, what creature would look like that? It's clearly not the cat. Okami Kurainya might have a cat, possibly having a cat and, you know, being familiar with the cat. I don't know if you guys have ever had sleep paralysis so bad that even though you have woken up, something keeps trying to pull you back into sleep. Oh my goodness. I did have one, I only had a real sleep paralysis moment once so far. I think it was this year. I think I was just really tired and it was very bad sleeping posture. The whatever it was tried to suffocate me with my pillow. It felt like it. It felt like it. And I couldn't push back. And I couldn't really push back. I think that one was really trippy. Sorry, motherfucker. I don't know why I'm so gassy all of a sudden. The croak is real. I think it's stress. Could be stress. Shit, can I mute the burp? I need some form of Steam Deck or a shortcut button where I can just mute the mic. My sister got hit by one. My grandmother's maid did a ritual to cleanse the house. Of sleep paralysis? Or something else? A similar creature? The burps are cute though. No. No. Embarrassing. I don't even know how to describe it. My burps are like not real burps per se. They are trapped in my chest cavity. Not in my boobs, but you know the rib cage, where the collarbone is. It feels like it's reverberating. It's vibrating through, resonating. The burp is resonating through that area. Am I even making sense? It feels like I'm the only one who does this because everybody else would just burp. I'm actually a frog. No. A sleep paralysis demon thing? Oh my goodness. I think a lot of people write off like with like scientific research and all that, you know, sleep paralysis is just like a sleeping phenomenon rather than a real demon. I didn't know that it's possible to do a ritual to wow. Damn. I think my friend who has like frequent sleep paralysis has some rather interesting ones, because my one friend, she sleeps, you know, on the bunk bed where, you know, because she's trying to save space, so the bunk bed, she'll climb up to the upper floor where the bed is, and below is where her, you know, her workstation is. So sometimes, like when she's half asleep, she could hear a crowd of people murmuring like they're having a house party or gathering right below her bed. And she'll know it's sleep paralysis. It's like, not again. But she can't do anything about the noise while she tries to go back to sleep. I'm like, what? Damn. I'm not a frog, please. I need a quick mute button. God damn it. Let me see. Let me test the audio. Oh, this is quite faint. Is this? This is quite faint. Okay, subtle is good. Are the bells too loud? Ho 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 ho. Oh ho ho ho. Okay. Let's try to read the next one. I think it's quite similar. I think Keizo's entry is quite a wowzer. I'm gonna read it the way he wrote it because I think it's pretty creepy. The sleep paralysis demons have gathered for a house party again while I'm trying to sleep. Unbelievable. Frog bird, no, no frog, no ghetto, no, no frog, no, no. Let me see if I can have... Okay. Let's go. Oh. This one is shared by Keizo with a horror rating of 9 out of 10 based on personal experience. This was in 2005, but I still vividly remember what happened. I remembered having dinner with my mom and dad. It was fried chicken. Honestly, my mom's cooking is so amazing, and I ate a lot of rice with vegetables to pair with it. The dinner was so amazing and so good. It had me in a food coma, and so I went to sleep together with my family. It's 3 a.m. in the morning, and I immediately wake up while I'm buried underneath beneath the bed sheets, and my head is placed above 2 cotton pillows. It's really comfortable, especially having my mom and dad right beside me. Oh, that's so sweet. Our room is small, much smaller than the one I'm currently sleeping in. My eyes are wide open thanks to the lights from the ceiling, but I still feel sleepy, so at that point in time, I want to go back to sleep. But then I realized something was wrong. I can't close my eyes. I can't seem to blink. I gotta tell mom and dad. I was struggling, so I had to tell them. Wait, I couldn't move my mouth either. What is going on? I wanted to scream so loud so I could tell my family what's happening, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't move my body at all. I'm paralyzed. The unpleasant feeling when you view from reality seems like you're steady, but you're internally screaming with all you have because you couldn't move an inch, you couldn't make a sound, you couldn't blink. And you're sweating profusely. Even though you're not moving, thoughts and panic started to race throughout your entire body, as if you're struggling to be alive. And then my chest felt heavy all of a sudden. And I guess you couldn't really breathe at the point in time. Oh, right, that's the next line. I can't breathe. Mom, Dad, help me. These are the words that I desperately have to say, but my vocal cords aren't obeying me. And it feels like something's choking my neck. I'm helpless. I want to pass out, but even passing out is not an option for me to choose. I'm just in a state which I'm impotently unable to do anything. My vision starts to get bizarre. I can see things. Suddenly I could see things that I normally couldn't see. The lights from the room suddenly went out. My family isn't there right beside me anymore. They disappeared. The ceilings become so strangely dark, and all I could see is a strange, dark figure with red eyes sitting on top of me. The way Keizo wrote it is amazing. The ugly motherfucker. Sorry. Sorry, I couldn't resist this. It's amazing. The strange dark figure put his hands around my neck and is pressing them really, really tightly. The monster felt really heavy and my chest felt like it's about to collapse. I'm trying to resist the feeling. And the monster suddenly screamed, "I will kill you. I will kill you. I will kill you." In the language I'm very familiar with, Filipino. The noise is on the loop and the voices sound very deep and otherworldly. They were all screaming in unison. And though I'm scared, I was trying my best to put up a fight. And I tried really, really hard to move my body. Suddenly, I managed to move my left leg. The monster looked back and said no. But this time, I kicked really, really hard until both of my legs started kicking the air. And the monster said, "Stop resisting." Wait, is that the end of the story? What? And then I assumed you woke up. Hold up. Did the story get half eaten? Oh no. Was there a word limit? I don't think so. This is what happens when you don't look through everything. Oh my god. I'm sorry, Keizo. Form. Where's... I see it now. Okay, I can continue. Let's go. Finally, I can move my eyes and I can even blink. The fact that you had to trigger, the fact that I had to kick and trigger everything. Suddenly, my mouth is able to open up and I could immediately blurt out, "Mom, Dad, I can't move." They immediately woke up and they were startled. "Honey, what's wrong?" My mom said, "There was a monster on top of me." "You're just having a nightmare. Go back to sleep." "But Mom..." My dad wakes up and he's concerned about me, but he's really mad at the same time for waking him up. "You have school tomorrow, so go back to sleep or I will spank you." And they both went back to sleep. And here I am, not being able to fall asleep because I'm putting my guard up. And what if the monster comes back and tries to kill me this time? Damn. Is this like a sleep paralysis demon variation number 2.0? So we have a pale white skinny, shriveled up creature. We have sleep paralysis demon number 2, black, heavy, with red eyes. Be gone, monster. Keek. Yeah, I have it. I managed to read it. Keizo, thank you. I got it. I managed to find it. Whatever. Sorry, it's kind of scuffed at this point. I'm trying not to croak. Kando, ucroo, hello. Don't think there was a cliffhanger. My bad. writing. I'm sorry, at some point I had to improvise. There were some lines like, "Get off me, bitch." I'm like, oh no, I don't think I can do a good. I don't think I can do it well. So that is another story that happened in bed when we are most vulnerable. True horror. True horror. I have another story that's also pertaining to questioning whether it's, sleep paralysis. Hold up, let me update the storytellers for tonight. Wow, how does one stop croaking? My goodness. Okay, let's do this one. This one was submitted by Ninja Muffin. It's a personal story, and in terms of spookiness scale, on the spookiness scale of out of 10, Ninja Muffin rated this 8 out of 10. It is one of those stories or experiences that make you question reality for that moment. A nightmare that doesn't end even though you clearly have your eyes open, or at least that's what you think. Maybe it was sleep paralysis demon or my vivid fantasy after watching the first Hellraiser movie with my parents that, my imagination decided to prank me. But for that moment, all of it felt real. I think this was really the first time I was even able to understand the meaning of being truly afraid. I was 4 years old. My family could not afford a bigger flat for all of us, so I had to sleep in a tiny bed beside my parents, while my sister had the luxury of having an entire bedroom for herself. This is an important part to the story because usually I wanted to have my own privacy just like her. But for this one night, I am glad I could stay in a safe environment. I can't tell what or why I woke up in the middle of the night, but whatever that reason was, whatever it was, I could not get around the feeling of something watching me. Just down our small hallway, I could sense that something was there. Of course, being terrified but also curious, I had to only keep looking just to find a shadow, a silhouette of a man who was almost completely hidden in the dark corner. I tried to scream, throw down my blanket, do anything to wake my parents up, but I was frozen in fear. Only small gasps of air were leaving my lungs, my eyes wide open. I was frozen in fear and everything seemed like a terrible nightmare, but I was awake. And then it started coming closer. This shadow wasn't walking. With almost mesmerized elegance, it was gliding towards me as if it was just a dark cloud trying to play tricks on me. What I did not expect was when it suddenly seemingly teleported a whole step towards my bed. Then another, and then another. All I could do was close my eyes and hope that this nightmare would end for the brief moment, for once, after a while, and there was silence. As if I imagined all of it, and the next time I opened my eyes, there would be the same old ceiling, same old walls, and same old hallway connecting my parents' bedroom with the rest of the flat. It was right above me when I gained enough courage to open my eyelids again. Without a second of hesitation, its hands grabbed me by my throat. I could not breathe. Everything was spinning. My ears started to ring. A little bit more, and it would all be over, or at least that was what it felt like. With some final strength that I could master, I managed to squeeze out a pathetic "Ma," calling out for my mom. Yet, somehow, this was enough to wake her up. The lights turned on. Few moments later, my mom was standing over my bed with a concerned look on her face, asking me if I was alright. I was coughing, choking, and gasping for air, but with each breath I took, it made me realize that this nightmare was truly over. Still shocked from this life-threatening situation, of course I told her everything that happened. My mom, with that serious look on her face, still thought and told me that it was my imagination. And I'm glad it's all over. I cannot imagine this if you were a 4-year-old experiencing this. There was no way. How? There was no way. This is, as a 4-year-old, this is no. There's a bit more to Ninja Muffin's writing. So basically a lot of questioning. I mean, of course, it was my imagination, right? Maybe it was just a shadow trying to kill me. And at that point in time, their dad was still sleeping and snoring near them without noticing this at all. So, in Ninja Muffin's point of view, I guess my imagination really went wild there. But that's not all. 14 years later, my mom decided to tell some of her old stories from her past. I'm not sure why specifically she chose to tell me this story of hers, but this exact story is why I can't stop thinking about that one night. When she was 7 and got ill, she also saw a shadow of a man standing in her room, just watching her, nothing else. She saw that man a few times before she finally got better. There's no real reason why there are people that ended up seeing a shadow creeping on them. Maybe a curse, maybe they watch a horror movie just like me, but it just doesn't explain why I was clearly awake when all of this happened. Not a single nightmare has tried to kill me ever since, but yeah. Anyways, okay, then the rest of it is more of a Ninja Muffin's rant. Anyways, I'm tired of typing on my phone, and this document is also glitching out for me, so have fun reading this. I'm also too lazy to proofread this for any mistakes, so I'm just gonna use my ESL card. Okay, thanks, BB. But yeah, it's inexplicable. If you are awake and something is happening, you know what's the other kind of nightmare that can possibly be worse? It happened to me once. Waking up, realizing you're very late for something. only to wake up and realize you had a nightmare or a dream that you were late, and then you wake up and check your phone and realize you're late for something, and then you wake up again to realize that it was all another dream, and then you were really late for something. It happened once. It was not a fun time. Kind of like Inception, but worse because you have no control over it. Waking up and mistaking AM for PM. Oh man, there's more. No. I mean, with time zones, I guess it kinda. Sleep paralysis is really confusing. Like, I want to believe in the science behind it, but it always seem to happen alongside my nightmares. Yeah. I guess the only thing that, you know, we can seek comfort in is that, you know, you're not alone, because other people also do have some form of sleep paralysis, one way or another. How do I stop croaking, guys? Help. Okay, so that was submitted by Ninja Muffin. Sleep paralysis buddies. Yeah, you guys unite. Stop drinking alcohol. Excuse you, I'm not drinking any today. I'm just drinking water and tea. Yeah, not even science can explain it. But it seems common. Maybe there are factors that, you know, contribute to it, and that's why more and more people do experience it. Remembering you are not alone can also be creepy depending on the context. Yeah. Yes. Okay, let's do one that is kind of slightly leaning towards religious. So let's conclude these few story arcs. This story arc that, you know, we are not alone when it comes to sleep paralysis. Do we get a ucroo? Can I get a ucroo? Ucroo. Well said. Ucroo. Man, if maybe maybe in an alternate universe, Audica Sevens is a church pastor. Can I get a ucroo? Yes. Well done, crew. Well done. Very well done. Fell asleep from the BGM. That's the other thing I actually wanted to say at the beginning of this stream. Like, there's two ways this stream can go. One is that we are all like, ooh, creepy stories, ooh, ah, ooh, crew, scary. Or people fall asleep to this stream. Exactly, brothers and pigeon, can I get a ooh, crew? Maybe one day we can do a confession booth. Maybe. Lovely, beautiful. Just as beautiful as this story submission by Bovine Pink Stink. Let me try to get this one right. Okay, this it's 2.9. I'm trying to remember what I did for my notes. Oh, okay. This one I need to make it louder because some of the effects are a little bit softer. But I'll try not to jump scare you guys, okay? I promise. This one is by Bovine Pink Sting for someone who doesn't really believe at first. Let's go. Let's see here. As a preamble, I don't believe in ghosts. When I was but a wee lad, my parents took an annual holiday trip. Same old place by the sea. Rickety house, owned and maintained by my twice, or was it thrice, removed grandma. It's a peculiar construction that was a witness of multiple wars, couple of rebellions. Rebuilt and patched up, God only knows how many times. It's almost as peculiar as its main caretaker. A woman of significant age, even then. Grandma was, still is actually, bulldozing through life with a myriad of strifes and hardships. Had more husbands than I would bother remembering. Wow. Worked as every profession under the sun, including less than gratuitous ones, and most worrisome was sporadically, zealously religious. On an evening before our departure from a tender care, Granny had a suspiciously active religious outburst. She was shambling from room to room, bowing down near every cross, of which there were plenty. Mumbling some sort of prayer, couldn't quite catch the content, wouldn't remember it by now anyway, but sure it was something in Greek. What it definitely wasn't is a normal nightly prayer, that's for sure. Slightly disturbed by such a sight, I choose to seek comfort near my parents. Mayhaps was spooked enough to outstay my welcome and bedtime by a good couple of hours, but alas, was made to leave for rest. To get to the guest bedroom, something that was a closet or storage room, whenever there weren't any guests, you had to pass through a hallway. Doorways on your left-hand side, most of them were kept open to let the air move. One of them was a small and cozy room, with a bookshelf neatly planted on one side and an old TV on the other. Smack dab in the middle, occupied by an armchair. Not quite sure what made me glance inside as I was passing by, but what I saw still makes my skin crawl and goosebumps rise. As I turned my head, mostly on instinct, my anxious mind concentrated on the fact that the TV was turned on, yet produced no sound. Whoever used a decrepit, bulbous TV knows they can't do that. There's always some sort of sound, be it buzzing, clicking, humming, or some sort of static noise, something. This one didn't do any of that. The picture was kind of strange too. Not the usual concert or soap opera, not even a technical service default screen, nor was it a usual grayscale nothingness of a weak signal. It was just white. Like a bony protrusion starkly contrasting with overall darkness of the room. As my mind starts to comprehend that something isn't quite right with whatever I was seeing, adrenaline starts pumping through my veins. Time kinda slows down. Or more likely, the brain goes into overdrive. The next thing my mind perceived was something sitting in an armchair. It looked, not to be sexist, male-like, lean and rugged, curly black hair, dark complexion. Quite normal, ordinary circumstances notwithstanding, but a big figure. There shouldn't be no black-haired man in that house. Actually, apart from me, my father, and my cousin, there shouldn't be any men in the house at all. With that new attained singular brain thought, my momentary stupor came to an end. But too late, legs already moved me past the doorframe, deeper into the house. It wasn't right. A second to take a breath in, turned around to move past the frame once more, absolutely ready to kind of start screaming for mommy, and then when I went past it again, nothing. The room is empty, the TV is off, the stars are shining through the window, all as it should be. To this day, I have no idea what that was. What I know is that it wasn't a dream, so I didn't sleep that night at all. So I don't believe in ghosts, but neither will I return to that house ever. Also, after there are extra notes after that. TLDR, grandma's deceased Greek husband scared me shitless by watching TV at midnight. Damn. Just... oh, damn. I think what's amazing is that through these experiences, the moments that you see them, it's very vivid, it's very detailed because you can't, it's so out of the ordinary, there's no way you can mistake, what you're seeing. No way. But damn, Pink, your grandma has many husbands. She's pretty badass, apart from being very, very religious. Fun addendum, grandma didn't have any Greek husbands. Oh my goodness. No, that made it worse. No. Lauren, ucroo, hello. Creepy vibe with dark candles. Yeah, this took some time for setup. Thank you. Hello, just nice. We are going to, I think, more or less reach one of our Gen mates submissions. Hey. Pink's grandma is a husbando collector before husbando collection became a thing. Damn. That means your grandma is of history and of age, I guess. With how you describe her and the house. Very cool. This was also very, very well written. Thank you so much, Pink. For a moment, I believed that your grandma really had a Greek husband. Pink Grandma was a Fujoshi. I swear she is a Black Widow. Damn. I'm just sorry that sometimes in between the reading, I'm croaking. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I do think it's believable because I've seen... Okay. I normally don't see stuff. Neither do I want to see stuff. And I'm a super scaredy cat. But when I was a kid, I did see some sort of a figure, and I think it creeped out my dad because it's in Papa Audica. Audi Papa. Yeah, Papa Audica. Yeah. I kind of creeped him out with that one because it's really in the house that we live in. And it's totally different, like, description-wise. Maybe it's just a figment of my imagination. So I guess when I was Papadika, yeah. But please take a battery or psychological neurological tests after that one. Oh, really? Oh my goodness. Oh, mama. I do believe what you're seeing because I've basically as a kid, I imagined I can't pinpoint because I think I was like 4 years old. I couldn't pinpoint whether it was a figment of my imagination or I've vaguely seen a figure that's similar before that I could, felt like there was some form of interaction with it at home. So because we have religiously and all that, in terms of influences and where we are from, it's more Southeast Asian and all, right? But the figure I saw, heck, I think I can even remember it now, but no matter what, it isn't scary or creepy to me. It's just a figure from my imagination. It's this lanky, tall, I guess in kind of Vikingish, but it's really, really pale white, close to white, grayish, gray cast kind of complexion. This dude, this fella, kind of like a Viking because he's kind of like wearing, I don't know, those skirts, grass skirts with like some sort of a pauldron or shoulder armor with some belts across his bare chest. So he was this tall, really long, lanky, long-limbed person that I seem to have imagined once, and then told my dad about it. Like he's peering over at the corner at that side of the frame of the some houses where they have like partitions and stuff. Yeah, I was telling my dad, hey, there's this person I'm seeing. It's just doing its own thing, but I only saw it once, but it was very, very vivid. And even till now, I remember how exactly he looked. Did he pillage and raid villages too? I have no idea. He's all the way in some Southeast Liberian locale. Maybe he's lost. Maybe. You don't believe in it? Oh, I'm sorry, Pink. Hope it was a hallucination. I mean, it could be if you had like maybe read storybooks and had some sort of like imagination of like fantasy stories, or maybe depends on what media you're consuming at that point in time. Maybe you could just like at the flash imagine something pertaining to what you've been reading. Maybe. Had those shadows standing there episodes during High Fever as a kid? Not fun. Oh man. I think those shadows standing there episodes are kind of like sleep paralysis. Maybe. Or maybe shadows giving aid so that, like, I think it was it Muffins or don't know whose story saying that, the mom was sick and then there's this black figure that was, or shadow standing there, and then saw them a few times until they got better. Maybe they're just trying to take care of you. As a kid, maybe. The possibilities. And that concludes Bovine Pinks. Bovine Pink Sting. Bovine Pink. Oh no! Bovine Pink Stings. Story. Ay. Guardian angel but creepy. That's what I like to think as well. Especially since we are at that point in time, we are kids, there's not much that, I mean, we are not really hell spawns, I like to believe. Yeah. Like what consequence would, otherworldly things want to punish you for if you have done nothing wrong at your age, when you're just a little kid. My eyes are kind of fucked up, but not at this point where I vividly saw a dark shadowy figure and it disappeared when I fixed my eyes. It's your eyes. It's your eyes. It's nothing to do with nothing here. Okay, the next story I have is a little more vivid because I was trying to gather some stuff for it. This one is from Eva. She shared about an experience when she was a child. So let's get into this one. So this is written in her point of view. Okay, so this happened to me when I was a child. I didn't see it with my own eyes, but my grandma told me about it. My parents used to work late into the night and sometimes wouldn't come home. My grandma would stay with us and look after me and my two younger siblings during those times. So one night, as usual, my mom and dad weren't at home. I thought to myself, what better time than now to stay up all night and play games on the PlayStation 2 my dad recently bought. And that was what I did. I was pretty scared of the dark back then, so I turned on all the lights in the living room and brought out all the pillows and made a little pillow barricade around me. I made sure not to wake up my siblings, both of them who were already sound asleep at that time. And then I started my solo game time, all too happy to have the entire console to myself. It was then, I think, a little past midnight, that I saw my grandma came out of her bedroom. Seems like she was up using the washroom, but before returning to her room, she looked at me and said something that left me very puzzled. Make sure you two don't sleep too late. I was confused by what she said, but didn't think too much of it. At around 3 a.m., I got sleepy and decided to go to bed. I remembered my grandma coming into the bedroom without turning on the lights to check on us. I quickly drifted off to sleep soon after. The next morning, my grandma woke me up as she was preparing my brother for school. My lessons were not to start until noon, so I asked her why she had woken me up. She told me this word for word. Next time, don't wake your brother up to watch you play games so late at night when he has school the next day. When I heard that, an unsettling feeling came across me and my stomach sank because I was certain that I was up alone in the living room. Plucking up what little courage I had, I asked her what she meant by that. She said she saw a figure of a little boy sitting right behind me while I gamed last night. She couldn't get a good look of his face because she could only see the side view and she didn't have her glasses on at that time. She also said that when she came into the room at 3 a.m. last night to check up on us, she saw the same figure sitting at the foot of my bed. Suffice to say, I did not dare to stay up through the night anymore for a good period of time. My grandma figured it might be something dirty in our house, so she brought us all to the temple over the weekend and also got the house cleansed. I'm still staying in the same house, by the way, after all those years. My bad. Did the game sound? Did the game sound? Jump scare, y'all. This story scarred me for a very, very long time. Oh damn, I'm still scared to stay up in the living room. Oh my goodness. But did going to the temple, Eva, you don't mind me asking, did going to the temple help? Moving my legs. I mean, you guys are still staying in the same house for years. I'm sure it's okay. Is what I like to think. Well, afterwards, my grandma didn't see the boy anymore, and my brother had an imaginary friend face at that time. Nope. At least your grandma doesn't see the boy anymore. I cannot imagine seeing things. I cannot imagine seeing. I seen a silhouette once that didn't make physical sense, and that was it. But I was very surprised by that experience because it was actually in a public setting. Imagine the number of people checking their bags now. I'm not checking mine because I have a lot of plushies kept in cabinets. I am fine. So I wasn't too sure if it was connected. I see. But I guess it's like when, I don't know, as a kid I'm not very sensitive to this kind of stuff, and I'm glad I wasn't. So maybe after growing up, you're not as, prone to seeing stuff. I'm thankful I grew up not seeing any of it, so I can't really believe. Okay, yeah. There was someone who joined the chat earlier. He said he has the third eye. I have a friend who really has the third eye, and I did tell chat before, like, with Southeast Asian culture and stuff. There's some belief of the ghost month, hungry ghost month. Because I have a friend who has the third eye. He will sleep by sundown. He will go to bed and try to sleep, but as soon as the sun is down during the hungry ghost month, because he'll see them everywhere. I'm like, oh, I cannot imagine living a life like that. Okay, this one is Eva's story. Chapum. Isn't Ghost Month in August? It's not always in August. It depends on the Chinese calendar. It doesn't follow like the usual US, the usual English calendar. Rina! Scary stories not having you by my side. Rina, it's a true nightmare. I need you. So I don't have nightmares anymore. Hello, crew. Rizna indeed. Oh, you know what? Just nice. I think the next story we have here. I'm so happy because we also have an entry for a submission from one of our Gen mates. I just wish I can stop croaking. This is embarrassing. Now that first waifu is here. Let's see if I can set this to... Okay. This one's kind of creepy. This one is full... Okay, this one is actually quite full on scary. And this is a story from one of our Gen mates. Yaha! No, you roleplay Toad? No! Imagine I was a fly, haha. Rizna! Shadow croaks, no. I am already unintentionally sharing them. Fuck. Let's move on. This one is being shared. This story is shared by Daddy Rad. Where do I even... Because this one is... Okay. Here we go. Lauren, if you're here, I'm reading your story now. Lauren! Although it's probably afternoon for him. Okay. This is submitted by Lauren, the entertainer himself. The house I grew up in got haunted for a couple of years because some people, my mom and her friends, played with an Ouija board in there. Back then, it was still seen as a game, but it stopped when things started to happen. One of these friends got a message that he was gonna die. That same night, he got into a horrible car accident. Didn't kill him, but he stayed in coma for weeks and took a while for him to walk properly and by himself. In the house, lots of paranormal things started to happen, progressively more and more, and it got worse and worse. But one of the many things that happened there that always stayed in my mind, and when things were just starting to be more obvious that something was wrong in the house, is this one night while I was sleeping. My two siblings and I used to share the same room back then. They used to be heavy sleepers, but me? No, not so much. I slept for what felt like 10 seconds, and a loud noise of like an empty plastic bottle hitting the floor woke me up. I saw how some shadow was sitting on the bed where my feet were. It looked like a man. It reminded me of my dad because a bit of the clothes I thought I saw. But when I looked at his face and still reminded me of him, his mouth was making the biggest smile. Inhumane. Like the Joker from the DC Comics kind of smile. I kept looking at his face for one more second when he seemed like he said a very quiet hello and immediately disappeared after that, like smoke being consumed by itself. I was around 12 when that happened. I tried to wake up one of my siblings. I managed to wake up my little sister and ran out of the room to tell my mom, to tell her what happened. We didn't want to go back to the room, so we stayed with her. In the morning, it was a school day, so we had to go into the room and get our uniforms to change. While being at school, I kept thinking that maybe it's something that I imagined. Maybe I was still dreaming in that moment, and when I woke up, so that was why it went away in a matter of seconds, and that felt like a way longer moment than what it actually was. And even if I did see a ghost, it is definitely not so scary in daylight. When we were back home, my brother and I went to the room to change our uniforms and get ready to eat. Just entering into our room, this huge closet that we have started to have its big sliding doors being pushed in and out against each other. Very fast, very loud. For around 3 or 4 seconds. It is not something that fell from inside or pushed the door outwards. It was like someone or something was pushing it out and back in. When it stopped, my little brother and I looked at each other as if to say, "You saw that too, right?" And we ran away from there. I didn't want to enter into my room for a day or two, but then I said, "This is our room. They cannot take it away from us like that. I don't care anymore of those things. I don't care anymore. I just want to get my stuff." And that stuff would still happen in there, but not as constant as in the living room, in the kitchen, or just outside our rooms. Until it was getting worse and more constant that my mom decided to get the house exorcised. We weren't there, my siblings and I. In fact, we never even knew that the house was being cleansed until years later. But it worked. The energy was different. It wasn't scary to be alone in the middle of the night in that house or the garden as it was before. Stuff still would happen, but it was maybe, once every 2 or 3 years, which could have been a coincidence or a very rare paranormal phenomenon. And now I remember it as something interesting, cool even. But back then, it was a pretty scary time to be in. That is freaky. That was freaky. Oh no 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 no. Especially when it's so obvious. Those were the days. Oh my goodness. I think I in this situation I'll blame your mom. Burn it, salt the ground. Nope 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 nope. Yeah, I will blame your mom and her friends. I guess that's why I'm not afraid of horror games. Oh, we should play horror games more, Lauren. Let's play more horror games together. Let's do this. Let's do this. Oh, playing with a Ouija board. I would never want to witness it. Like, you know, there's always all the media, movies and all that show, you know, if you try to ask things, you must be sure to say goodbye or end things well. But the movies never end things well. I'm like, god dang it. There was actually a plastic bottle sound, but I couldn't find it. It's there! I couldn't see it. Yeah, I'm so glad you're safe. Everything is okay now. It ended well. Yeah. Thank goodness you and your siblings are safe. Plastic bottle.mp3. You should do ASMR. I don't know. I guess if I'm croaking like a frog right now, it's a bit more difficult to do it. I do want to try, but maybe one day with a plastic bottle. But the banging was really creepy. I think all these sounds, I can drop off the credits somewhere. But the banging is really, really creepy. Is it very loud? Let me soften it a little. You guys can hear it. All of my no. All of my no. 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 If I were to hear something like this, you know how people have like survival instincts of fight or flight? This is immediate flight. Immediate ucroo flight. It could be louder. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Next time. Next time. This was the original setting, but I think I was worried that it was too loud. This is the original volume. I take it about here. Let me see the levels. Holy shit. Oh, that was very loud. Whoops. Okay, so that was a submission from Daddy Rad himself. Hey, entertainer by day, entertainer by night, and now entertainer in UK. Ucroo! They just got run over by a garbage truck. Yeah, it's very disturbing. It sent chills down my spine. Oh, right. We have a bunch of stories being told. Let's take it a little. Let's have a different story for this next one. This is non-supernatural, but is equally horrifying. This was submitted by Zajawa. Thank you so much. And this one is still an ongoing story. Yay. First of all, I'm sorry that it's happening to you, and I hope that you continue to be safe. Okay, let's do this one. Oh, that's great. You have a short update after. Let's go, let's go. Starting with myself, I've been working in IT as a programmer for 6 years. Always at the same job and on the same project. My company hires me out to another company, which for now I'll refer to as this company as NF. My stalker worked on the same project but was employed by a different company. She was responsible for promoting code and managing the release process. For 2 years, everything was peaceful, but then the project owner decided that we were migrating to a new solution and needed a coordinator for this process. So an agreement was made between the companies that my stalker would transition to the company I work for as the coordinator. My team is dispersed with members in different regions of the country, except for me, the stalker, and another colleague. The other colleague is a wonderful friend and provides me with moral support, but she's not a key part of this story. The nightmare began after my stalker joined my company. I regularly went to the office, so the stalker also started coming in, asking for help, advice, and training from me. At first, I didn't mind, but over time she started making strange insinuations, such as telling me that others were speaking badly about me or trying to engage more and more with me, which made me feel uncomfortable. I don't remember exactly what happened, but after 6 months, she accused me of gaslighting her one day and claimed that I hacked her computer. Over the next few months, she accused me of various absurd things. At the time, I didn't understand the reason behind this. Maybe it was because she had small children. One was born right before she transitioned to the company I worked for, or as others suggested, she might have fallen in love with me. I thought everything would end when she left my company and started working directly for NF, the other company, which meant she had to move to another city. But she left me a parting gift: an accusation of workplace harassment, which eventually ended with a conclusion that I had done nothing wrong. Misfortune didn't leave me alone though. Once she started working for NF, she kept trying to get me to join her project, acting very friendly as if she hadn't turned my workplace into hell. Or maybe she didn't see it that way. Each time, I politely told her that I didn't want to work with her. One day, I got the news that she was no longer working for NF. Sometime after that, she showed up at my apartment and started ringing the intercom, saying that she wanted to talk. After that, I started having mild panic attacks whenever the intercom rang. One day, she managed to get inside the building and knocked on my door. When I opened it, she handed me a donut. I didn't recognize her until she spoke, at which point I shut the door and later threw the donut away. From that time on, the situation escalated, and she started visiting more frequently and calling me incessantly. The record was one day when, after I told her I didn't want any contact with her, she called me 57 times within an hour. I didn't even pick up, even once. A donut, yes. A year ago, the situation calmed down a little bit, and I almost didn't have any contact with her until my supervisor told me that the police were looking for her because there was some problem involving her children and asked if I knew where she could be found. I didn't know the details. At the turn of the year, the nightmare started again. I received an email saying that I had to set a date to meet her at my apartment or she would smear feces on my door. When that didn't get a response, she posted fake advertisements online listing my contact information. For several days, I received calls non-stop from people asking about Maine Coon cats or Eco-P coal. I reported this to the police, but there wasn't enough evidence to classify her actions as a crime. On July 29th this year, she sent me a message on Messenger saying that if I didn't respond to her, she would kill me. That was too much for me, so I went to the police to report it, and this time they took it seriously and accepted my case. While I was at the police station, she kept messaging me, asking me to bring her marijuana. I don't use it, and I don't even know how to get it. When I returned home and was getting ready for bed, I noticed through the window that someone had pulled up to the store across the street. The store was already closed at that hour, so it seemed suspicious. When the person got out and started walking towards the building, I recognized her. I called the emergency number and reported that she had threatened me and was now at my building. She rang the intercom once, but I didn't answer. Then I saw her leaving, and I reported that to the operator, who told me to hang up. She got into a car, but instead of driving away, I saw her pull up to my building. I called the emergency number again. As I watched, she attached a rope to the entrance door and her car. Out of fear, I locked myself in the bedroom and barricaded the door. After a short while, I heard a loud crash and then banging on my apartment door. A few minutes later, I heard police sirens and the banging stopped. I looked out and saw her driving away, so I managed to note her license plate and saw her crash through the barrier gate in front of the building. Among the officers who responded was a policewoman who had seen me at the station earlier. I reported what had happened, and when we went outside to check the damage, a neighbor reported her wheelchair, which had been in the hallway, was stolen. I had trouble sleeping that night, but 2 hours later, the police called to tell me that they had arrested her. The next day, I went to buy pepper spray for protection, and I met my neighbor who told me she had gotten her wheelchair back. I had about a week of peace after that, but then I started getting calls from 2 new numbers. When I answered, there was silence. One time, I didn't speak, and it turned out to be her. I started answering the calls, but I would mute my microphone and sometimes play the audio on speaker. Through this, I learned that she often stole from the store below my apartment, regularly watched my apartment, and that she wanted to have sex with me or kill my Ukrainian war. What? Oh my god. Wait, let me read that again. Through this, I learned that she often stole from the store below my apartment, regularly watched my apartment, and that she wanted to have sex with me and hurt or kill my Ukrainian whore. I have no idea who she was referring to. Most of the time though, it was just crazy talk and theories. She also started sending me messages where she would say she loved me, apologize, or wish me a bad day. In the meantime, I moved to a new apartment, but I'm still in the same city as her. A few days ago, I found out that if she is declared mentally incompetent, she won't have to pay for the damages and won't be locked up, which seems likely. At the moment, I have found some peace, but I don't know how this will develop. And as of right now, the story is ongoing, and we have Sejauh here with us with an update. Sejauh also has photos and of the communication and the destruction. There's no way you can make this up. There's no way. A little update. She calls me from 2 new numbers, doesn't say anything, and then hangs up. She had this pattern of behavior before. It's just as you've shared here as well. I think it's a lot more complicated because I think she has kids, and in a way she is also still on the run. Man, that's so... Once again, I'm so sorry that you are... I'm so sorry to hear that you're going through this. But I wish you nothing but the best. And I hope you continue to stay safe, yeah? This is, guys, this is the true horror. Humans. Once, when she called, she made up a romantic comedy about renting a lift and using it to get to my balcony. Okay, as long as you're safe now. I hope you continue to be safe forever and ever, and I hope she gets caught or, you know, gets locked up. Humans are the true monsters all along. Yeah, this is the scariest. This is, to me, the scariest story. As I was reading this, my blood ran cold. Yes, this is crew and everyone, I believe we concur that this is the scariest story tonight. Humans. Disgusting humans. Sometimes I don't know, it just feels like, because anything I say is, you know, it's just speculation, but you know, sometimes when people are really just totally loons, there's no rhyme or reason there's no rhyme or reason that, you know, they choose you to be a target. So it's never your fault. It's just that it happens, and I'm sorry it happens. Thank God I'm a pigeon. Indeed. Yeah, he has. So Jawa has, you know, evidence and all that. It's just, you know, with the police, it's just tricky because there are things that they can't do or enforce, which is kind of sad because, you know, it's only when things are really bad and really escalated. Yes, agree. You know, I was like stemming off the idea of like, maybe in my alternate life, Audica is a pastor who knows how to say stuff, and like, can I get a ucroo right now, right here? I would really pray and wish for your continued safety. To be honest, I don't know how I feel about it. I laugh about it now. But when someone calls me, I get a small panic attack. Oh. Just know that this whole thing, that crazy bitch, it's never your fault, okay? It's crazy people are truly. The fact that this isn't the first time I've heard of a stalker stories not being taken seriously by the popo is, yeah, for real. Police can't do anything. That's the thing. It's so difficult. It's so complex, and it's so, in a way, finicky. The police can't just enforce things out of speculation. Even though there's a lot of like maybe experiences or encounters that, you know, directs that, you know, it's very clear that this person is not in the right state of mind. On my mama, I will invoke the Second Amendment even though I'm not American. What is the Second Amendment? Can you enlighten this pigeon? Everyone tell me if the role was reversed, we'll be in prison. Yeah, it's just wild that they let her go after the death threats. It's insane. Yeah, stop. Yes, that's good. Yes, there's no need to understand because there is no sense of understanding them. Oh man, the right to bear arms. I think it depends on the city. No, that's dangerous. If you're in the city, I don't know. Depending on where. I mean, no doxing. We are not gonna dox. Like, you know, if it's a place that has guns, all the more it'll be very, very unsafe. You know. Nuh-uh. Are we? Am I allowed to say certain things like pew pew? I don't know. Oh, I see. Pray for your safety. All the best. Make her forget. You don't need to do anything. Don't. Feel bad for her kids though. Yeah. There's that too. And the kids are, I imagine, pretty young based on what Sejawat has shared. Imagine if we also invoke the second. But kids too. It's just bad. It's just bad for everyone involved. Oh man. No, nothing to apologize for. No. Thank you for sharing this with us. Must have been, even now, it must have been really all crazy. And ultimately, we are all glad that you're safe. You know? And as long as you don't blame yourself for any part of this, and as long as you're safe, you know, we are glad. We are glad that you're here with us, you know. On the bright side, you won the True Horror Story Award. Yep, hi. Yeah. And so that was from Sejawat. Let me add to the list of stories being told today. It does not feel like I've been storytelling for 2.5 hours. Oh, they give you something as a reward. This genuinely terrified me. It's true. Your name got removed? No! Why? Done. Yeah. I think I forgot to save. But now I have. Yay. Now you're part preacher. You're part of preacher Audica's Krungin. Krugri. That's a mouthful to say. Krugigation. Kugri. Krugri. Congregation. Would you, if you want to post on Reddit, would you like to copy and paste what you've shared with me here? I think that'll be easier. You can just copy and paste. You find back your submission. You can copy and paste it on Reddit. Yeah. You can't? Can't? Oh damn. Oh no. Okay, the next one I have is from Colin. He has shared 3 spoopy stories, 3 short stories. I know you still need to log in to Reddit. No, it's up to you. I mean, if you're lazy, it's okay, you know. It's up to you. Is Colin in? Once again, shout out to Colin for the very, very lovely horror out of me. I'm like, it's so nice, it's so good. Horror. Ucroo. So Colin has 3 short stories for his for what he shared with us. Childhood story. Oh, Malaysia. Let's go. Let's go. Yum. Colin's art looks so good, right? So freaking good. So he has his stories to share with us. Let's go. So this is the first story. During my childhood, I often hear sporadic munching noises while watching TV or, walking around the living room. I tried asking my parents about it when they were with me. I heard those munching noises, but they were puzzled and told me that they didn't hear such noise. I remember looking around the house trying to find the source of the sound. But the only thing that caught my attention was my great-grandmother's altar, since there were fruits placed on it. The munching sound sounds exactly like someone biting into an apple. I tried getting close to the altar, and that confirmed it. The munching sound just kept getting louder and louder the closer I got to it. I prayed at the altar and backed away after that. I heard it on and off throughout the month without realizing it, but eventually the sound went away and was off no more. So someone was eating the fruits at the altar Now I'm scared and hungry. Yum yum yum. I'm getting. Oh, the sound is very crisp. That was short story number 1. I wouldn't think that, you know, I guess if you offer fruits at the altar, it's meant for consumption, fruit consumption. You know, like it wouldn't click with me that, you know, they would really consume the fruit. Then what happens if, then what happens if we offer the fruit at the altar, right? You hear the crunching apple noises, right? So that means the apple was being spiritually eaten. Then you're eating a soulless apple? Can you still eat it? I mean, like offering fruits and, you know, all sorts of like other items at like for prayers and the altar and, you know, all this other religious stuff. I mean, after praying, people would normally use it, consume it, recycle it. So, oh, it kind of reminds me of that, you know, the horror demo they were playing. Incantation, the rotten fruits, and rice, I think, all the maggots and all, and yum 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 yum. I don't know. I guess that, you know, like it's such an integral part of the religion, but it didn't occur to me that, you know, the spirits will really consume stuff. But anyway, this is the second story. I remember this one very clearly, as the image of it is just simply engraved in my mind. I've told a summarized version of this on stream before. I think I was, you know, around 10 years old. I went to a temple with my family in Penang, Malaysia. I can't quite recall the temple's name, but it was pretty crowded at that time. While walking around, I noticed a pretty realistic looking Luang Por Tot statue behind a wall of glass, and people were taking turns to pray before it. I saw the statue's eyes darting, moving left and right constantly. Curiously, I asked my mom about it, but she just told me that it's not moving, and she told me to move on. The entire time I was there, my eyes were locked, looking at the statue. I remember even getting close to it and praying right in front of it. The eyes were still moving constantly. It was doing the same thing. Thankfully, the eyes didn't stare directly back at me. Else that would spook the crap out of me. Kinda wished the monks there at the time, maybe, you know, I kinda wish I asked them something about it. Maybe they tell me something. Yeah, I guess some other side information. My family does pray to Luang Por Tot the most of all the deities, and has pendants and altars of it. I went to Google how the statue looked. It's basically, I think it's Thai. It's Thai Buddhism. It's a monk from Thai Buddhism. He is a revered Buddhist monk who lived in Siam, and is said to have performed miracles. Oh, wow. So, like a little bit of information. He has lived for 100 years. He was born on the 3rd of March, 1582 in Songkhla, Thailand, and died on 6th of March, 16 1582, born in 1582, died in 1682, 100 years old. And his place of birth, he died in Perak, Malaysia. That's very interesting because I do know, like, if it's for like Buddhism or Taoism, you pray to like ancestors and deities. But for this one, I guess for Thai Buddhism, you pray to monks, religious figures. Interesting. Yeah, he was one of the most divine monks of his time and has been bringing strength and protection to people over 300 years. Yeah, so imagine, do I put an image? Do you guys want to see an image of the statue? Behind the glass casing, a temple in Penang, Malaysia. You guys know, oh yeah. Okay, I get it. It's okay, Milk Tea View. It's okay, I get it. Have you guys experienced it whereby you've seen like a still statue or still figure kind of like moving, darting? Okay, you guys not really. Okay. Message is very loud and clear. I've once as a kid, like it was just a picture of waves, but with my vivid imagination as a kid, I kind of see like an old man with kind of like a sleeping cap, kind of like Santa Claus, you know, that kind of like sleeping cone-shaped cap, lying down sideways. I see an old man staring at me. It's not like a very creepy one, it's just a cartoonish one. Does that make sense? None. But yeah, it was a picture of like the waves and the horizon and then the sunset. But I saw, but the waves all shaped up to look like an old man to me, lying down sideways, looking. And I think because I told my mom that, she kind of replaced the picture. Yeah. But I feel it's not creepy. I don't know. I'm just glad that I can't really see or experience. Yeah, I'm just glad. I'm just glad. Let's just keep it at that. Okay, Colin has a third story. Let me. School. God damn it. Okay, this one happened in my primary school, or some people know as elementary school, which is still active today. It was a regular day and I was having science class. My classmates and I were brought to the school's science lab. The science lab itself is creepy as heck from the vibe it has. The lab itself is pretty dim even after turning all the lights on, and has all those body statues lying around. I take it those are the body statues, those figures of the skeleton, the muscles and the organs. I take it it's the one that was moving around in my white day stream. While having our lesson midway, 3 female students suddenly start whimpering in tears in the middle of class. Everyone looked at their way, and the teacher had to stop the lesson to ask what's wrong with them, or like what happened. They didn't say a word till the teacher brought them out and asked them to follow her to the office. After they went out, I could see a slight mist floating around in the air in broad daylight. But it might just be my eyes playing with me, playing tricks on me. I'm not that bothered about the mist. But after a short while, I felt my entire gut and chest being squeezed out and feeling an immense sadness for a few seconds. I was so confused at that time. I looked around and everything seemed normal. thinking to myself at that time, like, what was that? We were then escorted back to our class by our teacher. The three girls then told the class what had happened. Apparently, they saw a female ghost floating around. The lab is still used after a couple of days, and everything went back to normal since the incident. So there was also a side story to this little tale. This school was also rumored to have a female student who died of heart attack in the lab or in the school before. So speculation is that it could be the ghost or the spirit of that girl who had passed on in school from a heart attack. But yeah, I guess it's quite common to like materialize or view spirits in wispy, I don't know what you call it, looking wispy and smoky. But I do have a friend who had a similar experience whereby feelings of sadness, immediate, like immense, intense feelings of sadness. It happened to my friend as well. I can't remember the context. I think they were visiting some, I can't remember where. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I have a bunch of friends who are actually quite I wouldn't say spiritual. I don't think that's the word. They don't do it's not like it's their vocation or anything, but I guess they're a bit more sensitive to this kind of stuff. Yeah. Yum 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 yum. And that's the 3 stories shared by Colin, the MVP artist. Yay. I have this one sent by Zephy. It's a very interesting, I would say this is a very interesting take on this all. It's a lot of conversation. I'll try my best. Rhea, ucroo, hello, happy early Halloween. Thank you, you too. Hello, thanks for dropping by. Hello. How are you? This is, wait, Zephy? I don't think Zephy is on. Zephy, this is Zephy's, I'm guessing it's Zephy Sona. Do check out his stuff. Zephy Sonas, I think. Let me find Zephy. I could be wrong, but I'm guessing it's Zephy Sonas. He does really cool like content pertaining to music and singing. Very cool person. So you guys can also check him out. Check them out. Yay. This one's a bit of a stretch because it's a lot of dialogue and it's talking to a crazy wife. So Zephy got this from a stranger and kind of rates this on the scale of 1 to 10, how creepy, with 10 being the most creepy. They rated 8 out of 10. I'll try to get myself into it. Let's go. This is mostly a conversation with the wife. I thought she was playing a practical joke the first time she did it. I was in the kitchen when she walked in the front door mid-conversation. She gave a brief pause and introduced me to no one, apparently called Jeff. I gave her a quizzical glance, but she carried on the conversation, going as far to pause as if the other person was replying them. Really, Ian? You can't even say hello? But there's no one there, I cried. We didn't talk for days, and then on the weekend she asked if I wanted to go to have some drinks with some friends. I was still cranky, but agreed, because she was my wife. We arrived at an empty apartment. She told me not to bother knocking. My wife smiled as she let herself into the apartment. Said she'd never hear us knocking all over the chatter. My heart began to race as I watched my wife lean down, hugging people who were not there. She gave names of who was sitting in each empty chair. I stared around the empty room, dazed. I gingerly took a seat in what I was hoping was an empty chair. You know what I mean, and tried to play along with my wife. It happened again next week. An art gallery opening, her friend's exhibition. I started to lose my shit when I stood in an empty gallery looking at empty picture frames. When I heard my wife ooh and ah over a fucking empty frame, I couldn't contain myself any longer. And all she did was this. What the hell's gotten into you? She hissed. I played along at the start, but this is a joke. There's no one in the freaking room. Her face changed to worry. I haven't been playing any practical jokes on you. I swear, I think you need to go see the doctor. My wife wouldn't let up about me seeing a doctor, so I gave in and found myself sitting in an empty doctor's office, my wife nodding along to an empty office chair. A week or so later, I arrived home to my wife preparing dinner in our kitchen. She gave me a sheepish smile, a kiss on my cheek, and told me she was sorry for messing with me. She was my wife, and I loved her. Chris was one of my college buddies, and we had recently reconnected, and he invited me and the wife over for dinner. I greeted Chris and introduced him to my wife. We made some small talk. My wife was reserved, and I tried to include her more in the conversation. After a while, Chris gave a nervous laugh and asked if everything was okay. He looked awkward, his eyes not quite meeting mine. It's just that there's no one there. My wife tells me she's real. I can feel the warmth of her skin against mine. She's my wife. I believe her. I do not know how to switch voices. I tried. So who's the real one now, huh? Mindfuckery, let's go! Brr, 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 brr. The first time I read it, I was like, oh, okay, where is this? Oh. Damn. I mean, damn. And I think we are almost towards the end of our storytelling. We are left with 2 more stories, and then we'll talk a little bit about tomorrow. I said I want to do karaoke. Karafinity okay, I guess. Infinity okay. Yeah. We'll chat for a little bit after that. So someone dropped in a story. It's a short one. It's a short and sweet one by someone by the name of 76%. But I guess if it confirms, again, I guess it goes back to, you know, your own instincts. If you feel like something is not right, it probably isn't, you know. I went missing, I know. Happy wife, happy life. Do ka na? This is based on a true story. Around 2016, I stayed in a city apartment with my mother. She was at work, so I decided to take a bath with the door open in the passageway. With a door open into the passageway. Think of it as like a T section where all you could see from the bath was the passage wall. While sitting spacing out, I catch some movement in the corner of my eye. So I call out to my mother thinking that she might be home. There was no response, and with my eyes fixated onto the passage wall, a shadow crossed again very quickly. Were my eyes deceiving me? This instilled a bit of fear in me. I got out of the bath and tried to convince myself that there has to be some sort of reasonable explanation, right? I tried to block the small bathroom window with my arms. Maybe it's a bird that flew by. But no, my arm doesn't create a shadow on the passage wall, even though it's the only light source. I walked towards the door. My shadow would be on... If I walk towards the door, my shadow will be on the passage wall, right? It will cast a shadow on the passageway. But no, nothing. There's no shadow on the wall. There was no way to replicate the same shadow that I saw. Fear started to settle in. I called my mother immediately, and her exact words were, "I've seen it too. Don't try to talk about it. Don't try to talk to it." And shortly after that, we moved out. It turned out that someone had been murdered in their apartment previously. And that was it. 76% gave this one a 10 out of 10 because this really confirmed my suspicion of supernatural entities. Either that or there must be some sort of hallucination-induced fear. But then why did my mother confirm, to have seen the same thing? I mean, if the shadow is not physically possible, just motherfucking run. In the first place, I think it's quite scary that you take a bath with most of the lights out. Wouldn't you have the bath light on, the bathroom light on, and, you know, not have the window as the only light source? I think meetings. Yes, no? Oh man. I guess I'll never bathe alone. No, Ping, no, come back. Come back from the one traumatizing story. Come back. Zephy did a good one. Yeah, drop you a DM. I don't know. Is it with big houses? Is it the thing with big houses? Rina, yes, keep me company while I bathe. Yes, yes, we can bathe together. Exciting. I mean. So that was by an interesting submission by 76%. If you are here, thank you so much for your entry. To everyone who has shared their stories, thank you guys so much. Really. And I think we are down to the last one. What type of food was that? Was what? Food? Where? What? Did we talk about food? I'm hungry. Ugh. I'm hungry. It's 3 a.m. It's closer to the bewitching hour, guys. Okay. This is a story shared by Eva. The third story that she shared. 3 times the charm. I was making sounds. Oh. What type of food I was eating? I don't know. Maybe angel food cake? Eat something spoopy hour. I'll probably eat after. Maybe I'll snack later. I don't have snacks. Do I have snacks? No, I only have corn tea. I only have my ginger candy. What? What? Check my toenails? What? What? Bathing task. Rina! What? Thank you for the 69! Bathing Taskaru. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you. Rina, thank you. Yes, this is a promise that we will bathe together. Let's go. Yeah, I'm hungry. Angel food cake. Angel food cake. I'm trying to move my eyebrows, but I think they're stuck. My eyes are moving instead. Okay, this is the final story. This is also a relatively short one, but I think it can be quite physically felt. Yeah, this one is I would hate being alone at night. Under no circumstances would I ever put myself in this situation, even if it's work. Okay, let's do this one. This is the final story for tonight. This happened to a colleague of mine. And when I was still working at the Botanical Gardens as a visitor service officer, we have 2 shifts, morning and night. Night shift starts from 7 p.m. all the way to 7 a.m. After midnight, all lights in the garden goes out, and we have to do walks through the garden every hour with flashlights. Reason being, there have been cases of people sneaking into the garden after closing hours, and we have to keep a lookout for them. This story came from one of my colleagues, to be exact, a superior of mine. He is usually in the security ops room, in charge of the security cams in the garden. But there are times where he will leave the room to do the groundwork. The garden is pretty huge, so for that, the second ops team were issued buggies to get around. The vehicle looks like, your typical golf buggy, except that there are 2 additional seats at the back of the buggy that can hold 2 more passengers. So one night at around 2 or 3 a.m., he needed to go somewhere in the garden, and so he got on the buggy alone and drove out. As he drove past this huge tree, he felt this chill in the air. He didn't think much of it, just thought that, maybe the night was getting colder and it was about to rain or something along those lines. But then, as if to prove him wrong, something impossible happened. While he was driving the buggy, he felt a weight in the back of the vehicle, as if someone got on and took a seat. It was in the dead of the night, and he didn't spot anyone prior to that. So he thought to himself, whatever got on isn't human then. He was curious and wanted to turn around to look, but something in his gut told him it was best not to. He pushed the driver's mirrors up and stepped on the gas. After about a minute of driving, the weight was gone. He parked the buggy and examined it, hoping there would be something that could explain the phenomenon. Maybe a tree branch that fell on the top of the vehicle, or maybe a wild animal that decided to hitch a ride. But there was nothing to suggest those possibilities. So that was it. So yeah. As written by Eva here. So yeah. I mean, it's a wise thing. I think he did the right thing by turning up the mirrors, the driver mirrors. I mean, you can't see in the dark, so you can't really see anyway, but the mirrors, in case you look at something, I think it's a wise thing to turn it up. It was a good thing. He did the right thing. He did the right thing. He said he wanted to look at them so badly. He wanted to look so badly. Yum, 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 yum. Instincts are always right. Team instinct. No. I don't know. I wouldn't even want to do night shift. I'll be too scared to do night shift. Alone. It's like Five Nights at Freddy's, but Gardens edition. And on patrol. And maybe it's occasionally a bit cooler because you can have a scene where, if the ghost is, or if something is chasing you, you have the buggy at your side until something sits on the buggy. But damn, And guys, you know what? That's it. That's the stories that we have tonight. Owari! Yay! So many! So many! That was super fun! Yeah! That was fun! Yeah! I mean... I'm glad you guys enjoyed it as well. Thank you. Good stories? They are all great stories because you guys sent me the stories. It's all from you guys. It's all from you guys. I was never snacking the whole time. You remind me of that GIF. That. Oh no, I'm suddenly worried about my pronunciation. GIF or GIF? That GIF of, you know, Michael Jackson eating popcorn. Have a good sleep tonight, all of you. Thank you. I hope you, if you're on the other side of the world, have a good day ahead. Have a good, happy Halloween, everybody. Yeah! Happy Halloween. Ucroo. Happy Halloween. It's not working out. Are there plans to cut it as standalone video? I would like to. As it depends on how long. Oh, now we can do long form videos. Yeah. I think it depends on which stories don't have me croaking. Or maybe if maybe while reading some of the stories when there's a croak, maybe you can edit in a frog. I don't know. But yeah, that's all. I'm surprised I managed to, you know, plow through everything, all the entries. Thank you guys so much, really. I tried my best with the sound effects. I tried my best. I tried to squeeze in as much as I can. I'm so glad that, you know, you guys enjoy it as well. I think it's also a win if you guys are on stream and eventually fall asleep to me telling scary stories. I guess that's also an achievement in itself. It's high praise. Sound effects, yeah, fun stream. I'm so glad. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you guys have an enjoyable time. Enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm smiling so much. I guess when I'm delivering the creepiness and the scariness and the horror and whatever I'm saying, right, I'm not as scared. Yeah, funny thing. Genjutsu-sama, you gave me candy funds for Halloween. Thank you. I missed it out earlier. Thank you so much. Genjutsu-sama, thank you for the 20. And once again, Rina, thank you for the bathing 69. But this sounds wrong shit. It was immersive. Okay, I'm glad. I'm happy to do this. I'm so glad. My brain keeps jumping awake when there's a big sudden effect. Yeah. It's something I need to cue myself. Basically, I write down notes as you know, I'll consolidate the stories. Maybe I can share a little bit. I consolidated the stories. I accidentally deleted a bit of Kazos, by the way. But I have a side column where I'll cue like, okay, I want to put in this sound effect, and I don't have a soundboard per se, so I have Audacity as my friend. And then I just lined up like whatever sound effects I want to do, and then I was like, do this door cupboard slamming. Then I'll put the timestamp where it's at, and I'll just push play. Amazing! I have so many sound effects prepared. I'm glad. I'm not gonna lie, it's a crunch. I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed it. I have if it's the sound effects that were downloaded for today, I have at least 32 different sounds. Yeah, 32 sounds. Manual soundboard, yeah, in a sense, yes. Hey, I'm just, I'm just happy to do this. Where's your throne? Get this girl Steam Deck. Oh, I think Steam Deck I also need to like configure it as well. It's another thing to set up. Heading off first, it's been a wonderfully spooky night. Thank you so much for being here, Eva. Thank you so much for your stories, and thank you for being here. Thank you so much. I know that you also like, you want to do some Halloween content and streams as well, and then you said this night because I'm doing this stream. So thank you so much too. Do check out Eva because lately she's been playing horror games again, and I love her screams. She's been playing Silent Hill, and I was watching her entire stream of mouth washing. So good. It's really enjoyable listening to watching her streams. So do check her out as well. Good night, Eva. Boy. Now it's 3 a.m. The next karaoke stream is in 8 hours time. I don't know if I can wake up in time. And yeah, I think I need to move around things on scene. Like everything you're seeing now, this whole setup. In 8 hours, early stream? Yeah, early stream. Sleepyhead karaoke? That's the thing. I want to do okay, so what I was saying was like, I want to try to do an infinity karaoke. It's basically sing until I freaking drop. And see how long I can last. But now with the lack of sleep, I'm not too sure. And you guys, if it's in 8 hours time, if it's on the other side of the globe, it's okay. But for those of you crew who's like also like what at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., midnight for you guys. Yeah, after Halloween stream. Yeah, I'm thinking of trying it out, just whatever I can. Because I, in a way, owe it to you guys. We've hit 1K. We've hit 1K crew. We hit 1K crew. So, I've yet to celebrate, We've yet to celebrate together. Nope, no sleep today. We'll start working 5 hours. Oh, wow. Let's go. Yeah, I want the main reason why my karaoke streams are like normally at the other spectrum of the day is because I can shout and belt and sing all I want. Membership soon? I think it's not so soon. Thank you. 1K crew. Yeah, we are going strong. Yes, sir. There's a lot of things in the pipeline, so I'm really excited to have them out. Colin, hello, good morning. Ucroo. Oh. Thank you guys. Thank you for the 1K. Congrats. Thank you. Loop Audica's covers repeatedly put our votes in the background. Thank you, crew. Oh, Rina, thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy Rina's here. It's like it's so hard to. Sometimes it's just really hard to like catch her because every time she's streaming, most of the time I'm like either asleep or I'm out for missions, So it's so nice to see wifey here. Makes me happy, so happy. Good morning, Colin. Your stories are great, and thank you so much for the thumbnails. For the art. It's beautiful. Oh yeah, guys, shit. There was one. Okay, if I didn't put it in I had this idea. I wanted to show you guys because if it's after Halloween, the magic's gone, you know? This. There was one, I didn't cue it when I wanted to put it in the story, but I wanted to show this. You guys see it? You guys see her? Yeah? Yeah? I wanted to do it when it was like a creepy face for one part of the story. Which story? Oh man, I think it was for Lawrence. Like, you know, there's a smile. There's a creepy smile. Do you guys see? Do you guys see the creepy smile? It's Colin's work. So beautiful. It's above chat. And it's behind some names. I wanted to put it in, like slot it in, slide it in, and then, you know, let it disappear. And then you guys will be talking about it. I was like, huh? What? Who? What? Did you see it? Good morning. Yeah, I totally forgot about it, like somewhere in the story. Delta! Hello! Good afternoon! Ucroo! Yeah, Colin, your stories are really fun. I was like, is Colin awake? Oh well, here's the stories. Here are the stories. Trying to gaslight us? No, it's more for the atmosphere. Is it gaslighting? Maybe. Is it? Nah. Halloween! Yeah! Okay, it's now 3:22 a.m. I'm trying to set the karaoke. Oh, thumbnail. Oh. I'm trying to set the karaoke 8 hours. 8 minus 22. 7 hours from now. I'll try. If I wake up, whatever time I wake up is whatever time we'll start, okay? Have some food. I think it's too late to have food, so I'll just sip bird water and go to sleep. Didn't see anything? Nah. Once again, thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys, everyone, had an enjoyable time for this one spooky Halloween celebration. I'll see you guys in 7 hours or whatever time I wake up. Thanks for stream. Catch for y'all. Thank you, Colin. It's okay. I hope you had a good. I hope you had a good sleep. Nevertheless, your stories are great. Everyone's entries were delightful. They were really delightful to read. They were really much scarier when I was reading them alone than me, you know, telling them here. Delta, thank you. Spoopika Sevens. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys hopefully in 7 hours or whenever I wake up. And as always, ucroo. See you really soon. 7 hours. Goodbye. Is anyone streaming? I forgot. Is anyone streaming? Maybe I could just raid in. I don't know. What's the should I? I don't know. How do you do? Oh, Rena's streaming at 9, which is 5-ish hours from now. It's okay. I'ma rest. Think lesser for now. Good